Hello, welcome to Caffeinated Cast-Ons. This is my YouTube channel. Hi, hello, I'm Therese, also known as Caffeinated Cast-Ons. I am a North Texas-based knitter, and this is just my YouTube channel where I'm essentially sharing a video version of Ravelry project pages. I talk about my knitting projects, what I'm working on, any notes, modifications, yarn, needle sizes, all that good things that you would typically find on a Ravelry project page. I'm talking about it here and sharing a little bit of life with you along the way. It is Sunday, January 19th, and this is episode 55 of Caffeinated Cast-Ons, so let's get into it. I am a little tired today, so I feel like my energy is kind of low. I was sick in bed all day yesterday. I'm getting over whatever it was. I think it was just a 24-hour bug type thing, so I'm still kind of getting over that. And it's freezing cold today. I don't have any coffee, but I do have some sweet tea left over from lunch. We got McAllister's after church today, and I always get their sweet tea. It's the best. I don't have any finished objects this week. I've kind of only been working on 2 projects that I've been talking about for the last couple episodes, and so we're just going to continue progress with those. Whip number 1 is a pair of socks that I have going, and this is the Hermione Everyday Socks, and for the life of me, one day I will remember who this pattern is by, and I feel bad that I don't recall who wrote this pattern, but it is linked down below in my description box with my Ravelry project page in notes there. Last week, my goal was, I believe, to get through the gusset decreases or get to the gusset. I can't remember exactly. I already threw away my notes and I didn't feel like looking back on last week's notes. But either way, I got through the gusset. So now I am on the foot. Let's see. I think here's where I was last week. I had just started the heel flap. So finished that, the turn, picked up my gusset stitches, decreased back down. So now I'm just working on the foot length. These are such, you can really see it coming together now. So this is the cuff and leg, the heel, and then now I'm working on the foot. And this is such a beautifully textured sock. I love it so much. This is my second time to knit this pair, or this pattern, and I love it. It'll definitely be a pattern that I return to. Let's talk about the yarn. This is with Madeline Tosh Merino Light, I want to say. Yes, and then this is 100% superwash merino wool, and this is in the colorway Winter Wheat. And typically I knit socks with something with nylon in it, so this is the first time I've ever knit a pair of socks without any nylon. I'm pretty sure, especially on a single strand, because there's no ply to this, so I mean it's just a single ply. So we'll see how these hold up. I am knitting these on 9-inch circulars, size US 1, and I will stay on these until I get to the toe. When it's time for the toe decreases, I will switch to my 32-inch cables, same in the US size 1, and work the decreases via magic loop. My husband just walked in, so if there's a weird jump, that was why. So that is the Hermione Everyday Socks that I was working on. Next project that I'm working on is the Cumulus Blouse by Petite Knit. I'm not the biggest fan of this pattern so far. I think I've just been annoyed with how some of the instructions are written. But I figured it out. Nothing about this pattern is hard necessarily. I've just been doing raglan increases, make one left, make one right, things like that. Yeah. last week, I believe I had wanted to get to where I joined for the body, I'm pretty sure, and I literally just met this goal last night on both of these projects, actually. I feel like I haven't been knitting a whole bunch this week because I've been reading a little bit more, so I'm still trying to find that balance. But essentially, the yoke is finished, and it makes a V-neck, so I've connected there. And now I am ready to separate for sleeves, cast on the underarm stitches, and just knit the body. But before I do that, I do have my, what is this called? Stitch cord? Stitch holders, just cord. And this is the Knitting Barber. And it's literally just barber cord that you can put on your needle and then slide all your stitches off whenever you need to try on a garment, or just put stitches on hold if you need to use those needles for something else later. So I need to put this on a long piece of barber cord and try it on to see if I like what I've done so far and if it fits on me, because I have not swatched for this project. Which is interesting because I'm using different yarn and different needles than what the patterns suggest. So let me start with the yarn. The yarn I am using is Pearls and Postulates, and I am working with their Harris sock base, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And that is clocking in at 463 yards per 100 grams. And the colorway is Escape Velocity. The purples are my favorite part. Like the purple and the burgundy is my favorite part about this yarn. So I have 3 skeins total. So 1, 2, and then this is it in cake form. And this is how much I've gotten through so far with the yoke. And I've got to say, like, this is beautiful yarn either way, but I love this yarn so much more, like, intact in the skein. Like, I just think, I don't know. It makes me sad to actually knit with it, but at the same time, I've really been enjoying knitting with it. But it's just so beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to do a try on today. Make sure I like what's going on, and then once I confirm that, then I will put it onto stitch holders and separate sleeves and body and work the body. Now, talking about the rest of the project, I talked about the yarn. Gosh, where was I going to go? The pattern itself calls for lace weight held double. So 2 strands of mohair, just something fluffy, 2 strands held together of a lace weight. I am holding fingering weight single. And so I went up a needle size to a size US 8. I believe the pattern calls for a 7. And I did not swatch before doing this. I looked online and tried to find some fingering weight version project pages, and I did, and they, I think, used this same needle size. Some used a size 7 still. I am personally a bit of a tighter knitter, and so I went up a needle size. I typically do in almost everything I knit. Yeah. And I only have 3 skeins. But whenever I measured my gauge as I was knitting more of this project, I'm only off by half a stitch. I believe the gauge is 4.5 stitches per inch, and I'm at 5 stitches per inch. So that is pretty close, and I'm not too worried about it. So I'll just continue to do try-ons as I knit this project to make sure it fits. The only thing I'm nervous about is just running out of yarn. So my goal, what I plan to do is when I get to the body after separating for sleeves, I think I want to knit half the body length, and And then I'm going to put that on hold and work the sleeves. That way I at least know the sleeves can be done well. And then knit the body as long as I want with the remaining yarn. Or depending on how much yarn I'm going through as I knit the body, do I just knit the body whole and potentially do contrast sleeves? I don't know. Because I don't really have anything in my stash that would complement this. I mean, I kind of do, but it would be a huge contrast, and I don't know if I want to commit. So we'll see. I think this one's going to be very interesting. If I have enough yarn, that's great. So it's one solid piece. But we are open to getting adventurous with this project. Yep, so that is the Cumulus Blouse. One other goal I have for this upcoming week is I really do want to cast on something new. I know I said that last week and I ended up not, just because I read a lot more this past week and then I was not feeling good at all yesterday. Yesterday would have been a good day for me to wind up some yarn and cast on a new project, but I just was not feeling it. And I'm still recovering today, like I mentioned. So I would like to cast on a new project this upcoming week, whether that's another pair of socks for myself, which is most likely going to be it. I'm kind of itching to cast on a pair of DK socks, and I think that's going to be it. So I don't know, but I just want to start something new. I think that's really it knitting wise. Yeah, this one's kind of short today. Reading, watching, listening. I read a lot this past week. So I did get a Kindle Paperwhite for Christmas, and I have been putting this thing to work. This past week, I read Flowers for Algernon. Boy, hold on, I'm swimming my teeth. And that one was so sad. Like, it was good and it was sad. Like, it was everything, and it made you feel so many different emotions. And I had never read it before. I'm pretty sure like it's like considered a classic or something, but I had never read it before, and I borrowed it from the library and sent it to my Kindle, and it was just so good. I recommend. And then I read Matthew Perry's autobiography, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. And it was so sad. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, like I think if I listen, like I teared up just reading the foreword by Lisa Kudrow. And I think if I would have listened to the audiobook version, because he narrates it, I think I would have been bawling my eyes out. Like, I already teared up reading like the actual pages and cried then, but like I don't know if I would have been able to hold it together hearing him listen and like tell his story. So that was a good one. So those are the two books I read last week. I think I read Flowers for Algernon in like a day. Like, literally, it was so fast. Just because like the way the book is laid out, it's not necessarily chapters, but like it just goes so quickly. Yeah, so those are the books that I read last week. I'm still reading the second book of the Wayward Pines series. I'm on book 2 right now, and it's just Wayward, I believe. So still making my way through that. I think I'm going to pick that one back up this week as part of my reading. And then I just started reading Impossible Monsters, which is all about like the discovery of dinosaurs, how it impacted like people's views on religion and other things. And I mean, that one's going to be a little bit more textbooky, but it's such an interesting conversation, I think. So I'm definitely I started it like late at night. I was like half asleep, so I might need to start it over or go a couple pages back. But I did start that, and I have that on loan for the library. So I have like 2 weeks to read that. And I think if you want to read more, I know this isn't like a book or knitting, or it is a knitting channel. It's not like a book or reading channel, but if you want a tip to read, be motivated to read, at least what's working for me is, since I'm borrowing these books from the library, it's like you have 2 weeks to read these books. And just because that's what the policy is at the library I'm using. And not that I can't renew the books, I could, but it's like, okay, I have 2 weeks to read this book. And that's motivation enough for me. So like, how many pages are in the book? How many pages a day at least do I need to read to stay on track? And I've been turning in my books early, so that's been super nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it book-wise. Watching, we're behind on Silo. We haven't watched the latest episode that came out. So I've just been kind of rewatching Friends and One Tree Hill still, listening to the same old stuff. I've been in a weird music mood. I used to make playlists all the time for like my moods and I don't know, listening to the same old thing. Okay, let's wrap around up with some 3 simple joys. My son is napping, so I'm going to use the rest of this time to knit on these projects and look at my yarn in my stash and see what I want to cast on next. So 3 simple joys, and we'll wrap her up. Simple joy number 1, I started a sourdough starter this week. I've never baked sourdough bread before, and I know it's like especially like the thing to do during like 2020 shutdown, all of that. But I started a starter this past week, and her name is Celia. And I'm attempting to make it a gluten-free version because I am gluten-free. And I am doing good so far, like having great success with that. I haven't actually baked with her yet. She's still in her like getting the starter established phase. But hopefully tomorrow, if you're a sourdough person, you'll know tomorrow we're going to see if she passes the float test. And if she does, then I can bake with her. But it's just been so fun to do. I'm trying to be like very loose about it. I know baking is a science. I know there's so many factors in sourdough. Because of that, it took me so long to actually start, but I am just taking it a process at a time, like breaking the process down and just, yeah, I'm trying not to be too strict with it and just, it's something new that I'm trying. But it's been really fun. Simple joy number 2 has been walking. Especially after the snow melted, after we had our 2 snow days. I've just been trying to get outside, and I have to wait till like later in the afternoon whenever it's like the warmest. But it's been kind of warmish the past week. It's dipping down again right now. But just trying to get in some steps. I tried to do 10,000 steps a day, and that is hard. Okay. I am aiming for 2 miles. If I walk a little more, a little less, that's fine. But like 2 miles is the goal when I do walk. And I just walk while I can. And then simple joy number 3 has just been still rocking away with my Kindle and reading. I like that I'm utilizing a public library system. I like having the books here, being able to read them more. And right now I'm just trying to figure out, like, I cannot read and knit at the same time. That's not something I've mastered because I very much need to look at my knitting when I knit, and I like to look at my knitting. So I've not figured out that balance of how to knit and read at the same time. Maybe that'll be a goal for this year, but I really have been enjoying reading again. Oh, look, my nails no, my nails are definitely more blue. I just got my nails done, but they almost match my case. Okay, well, I know this upcoming week is going to be a long one. I might take a mental health day tomorrow and kind of relax if I'm still not feeling 100% after the stomach bug that I went through, because I still feel kind of gross. But I'm just going to try to get some rest today and take it easy, and I hope you do the same. Yeah, so until next time, stay caffeinated.